It's nice when you don't have to wait years for your favorite book sequels, but what if it comes at the cost of the quality of storytelling? With this amount of world building, I wish Onyx Storm was released at a later date with crisper editing and a better structured storyline. In this video, let's break down what worked and what didn't in Onyx Storm, the third book in the Empyrean series by Rebecca Yarros. Was it worth the massive hype? Let's see. This is not a spoiler-free book review. If you have not read it yet, you should probably get back after reading all 3 volumes in the series. Let's do a quick summary. Onyx Storm picks up right after the battle at Basquiat, where the wards are back in place. But soon, it is discovered that the enemies are not just outside their walls but also within their ranks. Xaden is fighting the urge to wield his dark powers while Violet is hell-bent on curing him. The Venin are advancing, the wards at Aretia are faltering, and Navarre is in desperate need of allies. Andana's mysterious kind may be the only key to save Aretia from falling and possibly stop Xaden from losing his soul forever. To find answers, Violet and her chosen squad fly out on an adventure to lands beyond the continent, lands which are more complex, have no access to magic, and are more vicious than Violet imagined. Meanwhile, there is a new Dark Wielder toying with Violet, obsessed with turning Violet into her disciple. In Onyx Storm, Violet's wit and resolve are tested, forcing her to make reckless decisions while horrifying secrets about her past are revealed. Rebecca Yarros excels at keeping a continuous flow of intense situations, witty and heartfelt moments, and good combat scenes. The dragon battles always seem so real and well paced. As with the first 2 books, I did not want to put this book down. But there was not much progress in the main story. We do, however, get too many subplots, new characters, and more info dumping to deal with. Mostly, I was powering through the story but feeling lost at the same time. There is a slight improvement in the writing style when compared to the previous books, but the lore and history is not structured well and is all over the place. Violet's inner monologue about Xaden's looks is now old and boring, especially at a time when the world is falling apart all around them. I'm glad that Violet's interactions with her friends take up a decent chunk of the story, and of course, I loved all the parts with the grumpy and majestic turn. There were many clever twists in the story that I hadn't foreseen, but Xaden's descent into complete darkness towards the end was as expected. Violet's second signet, Dreamwalking, was pretty disappointing. Also, having a second signet has lost its charm, as apparently every other person in the story has one. Iron Flame did an outstanding job when it came to epic showdowns. Though we did have good combat sequences here, I missed the high energy, head-on final battle scene we had in the earlier novels. The last few chapters from new POVs seemed sudden and out of place. I was expecting to lose Rhiannon in this book as the boys already have taken a couple of hits, but instead we witnessed the death of a side character that we hadn't interacted much with. Most likely, these chapters were included to show us what was happening in the key battle to keep up the tension. The ending was not a solid conclusion. I guess the cliffhanger was meant to shock, but it was not as effective for me. It seemed like a deliberate means to set up Violet as nobility, making her a major player in the politics of the continent in the future. In Onyx Storm, the main characters are on a quest that allows the reader to see the world far beyond the borders of the continent. I love that every place they visited was named after a certain god, and these unique cultures are heavily influenced by the traits of their preferred deity. But we didn't stay in any place long enough for the world building to really stick. I could not recall the names of provinces, so had a hard time following the ongoing border war in the background. There should have been more attention to detail on the world building within the continent, as all the major events are happening there. I am very confused with the magic system. Most of the times, I'm not sure how they wield their power, nor do I understand the rune magic. How did Sawyer change the ward stone? How do the second signets work? What power does the dedicate have? Magical elements seem randomly placed as per convenience, and many questions have remained unanswered. It was told that Venom can control dragons, but it was entirely skipped over in this book. Why isn't the Empyrean worried about this particular revelation? I did not mind the info dumping in the form of notes at the end of every chapter before. They used to provide context and foreshadow upcoming events, but here, in many places, they seemed irrelevant. Relationships are evolving and strengthening over time in Onyx Storm. Our main characters are dealing with some severe trauma and suppressed grief. Violet did not seem as clear-headed as before. She is written in such a way that she will win every battle or challenge smoothly, which kind of reduces the nail-biting moments in the story. It makes her less relatable as a character. She still has not mastered her lightning signet either. Though she has been told there are other means to wield her power, she has hardly spent any time figuring that out. The only place she showed her trademark intelligence was when she outsmarted the Hedotus leadership. Zayden is more vulnerable and better developed as a complex character here. He handled his Venom transformation better than I anticipated, with occasional freakouts. His relationship with Violet, though still far from being a healthy one, showed a slightly deeper connection than just a physical one. Still, it is unfortunate that this relationship, which is the core of the series, was not developed organically. I have to say that Warish was a better deranged villain than the new Dark Wielder who wants Violet under her control. It would have been more intimidating if Theophany had remained a mysterious, sinister being than have her interact with Violet and write her notes. The author has made an effort to have many side characters with distinct personalities like Mira, Kat, Arik. I still don't get Brennan though. I have enjoyed Arik's character since his intro. Though he plays a minor role at the moment, I like the way he is evolving in the story. The best parts of the book are the dragons and Violet's strong bond with her squad. Andarna, Turn, and Riddock break the tension every time with their well-timed humor and high energy. We got very little on Rhiannon this time, and I'm glad Sawyer is back on the battlefield. But it was Riddock who completely stole the show. He was consistently wonderful throughout the book. He was supportive, witty, logical, and came through whenever his friends needed him. We also have many characters as part of the kingdom politics who have not been fleshed out well. I couldn't figure out if they were friend or foe. I cannot name a single person on the council other than Violet or her gang. Onyx Storm did not have the emotional payoff to make it a satisfying read with its many unresolved plot points. It was entertaining nevertheless, and I am invested in the story. It took me around 21 hours to finish this book. Dragons are the coolest part of the series, and for anyone who loves these majestic, terrifying creatures, the brutal world of the Empyrean is just what you need. It is not path-breaking literature, but it certainly is a fun, thrilling ride. I'm rating Onyx Storm a score of 5.5 out of 10. Since the author is taking her time with the next installment, here's hoping for a more finely edited and electrifying fourth book in the series. Till then, I will be uploading more deep dive lore videos from the world of the Empyrean. Stay tuned for more. Bye!